So this first exercise is basically an example of what my test questions look like for part 3. We've got a little sentence here about what the heck's going on, and then we've got a regression equation, which technically should have a little hat on this y. I don't know how I got missing. Anyways, I am pretty lazy as a reader of these types of questions. I'll tell you, the first thing I do is I see this, and then I go, okay, well, I need to know which one's X and which one's Y. So I'm going to read that previous sentence looking for those keys that I told you about in terms of telling X and Y apart. So as soon as I see this sentence, we're predicting price, that tells me, aha, this is my Y, and we're predicting it using its mileage, so that's my X. And then the first question says, let's go ahead and interpret our slope. And I know slope, right? Change in Y over change in X. Even if I didn't have if I didn't take the time to write down that, the sentence, which I should have written down, I'd at least have this. And this tells me that my change in X is going to go along with the 1, and my change in Y is going to go along with the actual slope. So I need something that has mileage with 1 and price with that value, right? And you can see here immediately there are a couple of things we can get rid of, or at least A, because A is talking about our y-intercept. And we can know that the slope is the thing that's touching the X. So we get there and we go, okay, 1 mile, car miles, these both look fine. This one says 1 is with car price, and we know that that's wrong. So we're now down to B or C. And then since we have a negative slope, we should have a decrease in car price. So our answer is C. All right, the second piece. We are now told a particular car's price was $24,000. It had 50,000 miles. What is the residual? So if you want to get these questions right on the test, take time to break down what you were given. We have a price, which we know is our Y. That is hideous looking. We have a mileage, which we know is our X. And then we are being asked for the residual. And remember, I told you, as soon as you see the word residual, you should be writing down E is equal to Y minus Y hat, our residual formula. And right now, I've got part of this formula, right? E is equal to, I could bring this Y down, 24,000 minus, but we're missing Y hat, right? We don't have this piece yet. So this question is a two-step question. Step 1, you need to find Y hat so that we can actually use it in that regression or the residual formula. Finding Y hat, remember, it's just about plugging into our regression equation. 2, 4, 3, 6. Ugh, too many numbers. And now it makes sense why they gave us that X of 5,000. Fine, I'll bust out my phone calculator again. I really thought my calculators were in my bag when I left work. I did not know I was doing this to myself. 1. I don't know if that's right at all. Okay, I'm writing it down for now, but I'm going to go ahead, and this feels wrong. It doesn't feel like something I've seen before. So I'm going to swap out of tablet mode, bring up my cute little graphing calculator, and just redo this really quick. I know, I hate these parts. I'm like, this is riveting content when I'm typing into a calculator. I should have paused the video and then just finished it, but whatever. Yep, I knew that felt wrong. 23601. 23601. I don't know how I screwed that up. Like I said, if I could actually 0.15, right? 0.15. And then your second step is E is equal to Y minus Y hat, right? So this, well, we know Y is the 2400. We just 24,000. We just found our Y hat. And part of the reason I was tipped off that this question was wrong, not only because I've done this problem 1,001 times, but because usually our residuals are pretty small. It's just how far off we were on our predictions. So if we're off a whole bunch, either the model was terrible, which is possible, or we made some simple error in our calculation. That was a 1-5, huh? How I didn't write that down. What was this? 398.85. And remember, since we are calculating something and it's not correlation, there should be units on this. Our Y was all about price, so this is dollars. We were off almost $400 in terms of our prediction. So that's how these questions work. The next exercise is a really, really good practice problem because it takes off the training wheels, especially with the number 1. You have to do the slope by hand. So I highly recommend that you do that on your own and then watch the next video.